Welcome back to Absurd Automotive. Today we're going to be working on the Mustang. Sally B. It's been sitting for 31 years and we're going to put this thing back on the road, drive it, hopefully take it to the drag strip, and we're going to make this thing look pretty cool because I want to match it to the truck, and I have come up with this amazing paint scheme here, and hopefully this thing will come out pretty good. I'm not sure. I'm doing with some cheap enamel. I've never really painted a full car before. I've kind of put some stripes on stuff and done some small things, you know. I put Eva's stripes on her and everything, but it was with some tape and some rattle cans. I actually bought a paint gun this time and all the equipment to do it, so we're gonna try our best to make this thing turn out okay. And if I mess it up, it only cost me like 300 bucks. It's not the end of the world. So, we're gonna pull the car off the trailer now. We're gonna get in here. I got all the parts to finish this car. Today, we're gonna pull a lot of stuff off. We're gonna pull the gas tank out, all the old lines off. We're gonna just pull the thing apart the rest of the way that I need to, and then we're gonna start working on sheet metal and the brakes, so that way it's safe when we start this. So there's a lot of work to be done. This video is gonna be basically just getting this thing stopping, and then the sheet metal all done and prepped for more work to come, and hopefully it won't be done this video, I don't think, but next video it should be running and driving, as far as I know. I don't know if it's gonna move because I haven't tested the transmission yet, but we'll find out. So let's get this thing unloaded, get it in the shop, start working on this thing. Before we go look at the Mustang, I just wanna kind of show that this car has taken up, I feel like, more room than the truck did just because of all the parts everywhere. I mean, all these small miscellaneous parts all under here. I don't think you can see this, but all under my table is filled with parts. All the big panels and things, this is filled with parts. On top of it's filled with parts. All these are parts. I mean, this little cabinet down here is filled with parts. So many little parts. I feel like the truck was more together than this Mustang is. And I feel like it's gonna take me quite a bit of time to get this thing back together, at least to perfection. I don't think I'm putting all the chrome on and all that stuff. I just don't think I have the skills for that yet. And I think with the paint job, I think all the chrome would look kind of weird. So we're gonna take the chrome off. I'm gonna keep it because I don't want to get rid of all this good chrome. This build specifically, I don't think I'm gonna put all the chrome on there. All right, well, let's get this thing unloaded. All right, I'm gonna unload this bad girl. This is the scary part. So this thing has no brakes whatsoever. So this is kind of scary. I'm gonna kind of just let her go and then just turn it off there. Super not scary at all. It's fine. Look at that. It looks like she wants to go fast. This thing will be done pretty quick here, I think. I mean, everything looks like it's in place. I just got to replace a few parts, and I think this thing will be running and driving hopefully by the end of the week. It's Monday today, and today I'm doing all the welding and the brakes, and then tomorrow it should be drivetrain matters. And the only thing I'm 100% worried about right now is the transmission. The motor seems pretty good. It needs oil, it needs an oil pan, fuel lines. I'm gonna just check everything over, but it did run. Put some oil in it. It did run when I pulled it out of the guy's garage. Like I said, he's done some work to it. It's got a new Holley carb. Looks like he's got a new solenoid, newer spark distributor, and the spark leader wires. It's got a new starter on there and a new solenoid. It's got a few new things. I've got some new cables and a new battery and all the new fun fancy parts like belts and a radiator and fuel pumps and all that. So this thing should be getting lots of love. We'll see how she turns out. And this thing just looks fast, just sitting there, just looks fast. I'm so excited to have this thing done. Matching Ford masterpieces. I mean, this thing might not be a masterpiece. That thing's pretty close to it, but this is not going to be. But this year, the car itself, I would say, is the most iconic muscle car ever to exist. It's what started the muscle car 60s. The 64, 65 Mustang is what started it all. This is a 68, but I always love the back end of the 68s a lot better than I like the 64s and 65s. The story is that the 64s and 65s are always the girly cars, and the 68s and 67s and the 69s and the 70s were like the man's car. I'm not trying to be sexist, it's just like the running joke. This is a beautiful car though. I mean, you guys, if you are a car guy, then you can kind of see that, oh, there's a mosquito on the camera. You guys can kind of see that this is a lot of work, but the way I'm gonna do it, it shouldn't take me more than a few weeks. I mean, it runs and drives. I don't gotta do anything customized. You literally just have to put panels on the car, paint this thing, and hopefully it comes out pretty good. And I gotta find a seat to put in it quick. But after that, this thing should be ready to go, and I'm super, super excited to see this thing rip around. And even if it just sits in the trailer with the truck, it should make for some really cool photo shoots. So excited. All right, so this is only like my second look under the car. So yeah, you can kind of see right there what I'm talking about. Like, it looked like somebody put in panels. I don't know if that doesn't look original at all. Looks like someone put in floor pans at some point. Let's get a better look at this. There we go. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it looks like the floor has some spots for sure. I got a spot right there, some spots right there. I don't know if I want to clean up everything, but you can also see right over here, looks like there's some more panel welds right there. But I don't know, there's a lot of, well, I think the original floor pans are still in it, maybe. These look like the original pans, kind of. I don't know, I can't tell. I am not that big of a hot rodder to be able to know if this thing still has the original pans, but I can tell you that right there ain't no good, brother. That right there is pretty bad. That's as bad as you could probably get. The frame rail right here is completely rotted out, so I gotta, and this is pretty thick metal right here, so I gotta pull all this apart right here and weld that up. I got a ton of sheet steel and a ton of other stuff, so I'm gonna pull all of the rusty crap out of this corner as best I can. I'm gonna tear out everything rust-wise here and put in some brand new stuff, because this is the structural integrity of the car, so I am worried about it. But I didn't see it on the other side. It looked pretty clean on the other side. The transmission looked pretty okay when I was under here. You can see it up in there. It looks pretty okay. The drive shaft's still in the car. The axle looks okay back there. I looked at the axle earlier. It looked pretty okay. I can see all that stuff in the back there, like shocks and all that stuff. The only thing I'm looking at is brakes that I gotta fix. The front steering might need an alignment. I was kind of looking at that. But this right here is and will be our biggest challenge, is in that little corner right here. But the rest of the car is not great, but it's runnable, right? Like, the floor's still in it enough where I can run this thing and I'm not gonna hurt myself. So I think for now, we're just gonna fix this corner and then some other stuff up front, and I think this will be good. I mean, even up over here, this just looks kind of crappy, but it is solid, so I could leave it, but I don't know if I want to. And all in here looks pretty solid. I was looking up in here, all down here, everything looks okay for the most part structurally, other than that cab corner, like the front, not cab, it's not a truck, but other than this front corner of the chassis right here that I gotta pull out the bottom side and fix. But the floors are all solid, all super solid floors. So for now, I think I'm gonna leave them. I'll probably change them back out eventually. I'm sure these are gonna rust out and wreck eventually, but for right now, we're gonna leave them in there. And like I said, we're on a budget, so we're just gonna fix this structural integrity. I don't know about any of these. They don't look like they're bothering nothing, so I'll probably just cover them up. But all this looks okay. Nothing looks crazy bent or destroyed or anything like that. This thing looks, I mean, relatively solid. So hopefully it won't be too bad. All the floors as solid as can be. I mean, there's clearly points where it wasn't welded that I might try to fix. You know, smash them back up, just tack weld them up, just so water's not getting in the car. And again, there's this right here, like I was talking about earlier. This is pretty bad, you can see. So I'm not sure how I'm going to address this. I'd like to just panel, like patch it, just cut out a patch and patch a whole new thing in there. But the problem with that is the headliner's still in the car. So if I cut this, I have to weld a new piece in, there's a really good chance that I'm going to light this entire headline on fire. And because I don't want to do the headliner because it's already in the car and it looks decent. I mean, there's some tears. You can see back here, there's a tear through there and some other small things. But for the most part, it's still there and it's the original headliner. So why would I rip it out, you know? And this is supposed to be a vinyl top. I'm not doing a vinyl top. So it's pretty bad and I'm going to reskin this roof eventually. But for right now, we're just going to skim with some Bondo. I think I'll put something in there to kind of like give it some structure on the back end of it, and then Bondo it so it's not falling apart on me. That way, like, if, you know, I don't know, someone leans on the car, it's not just going to cave in on it. So I'll put something behind it, maybe try and put something there to save it a little bit. I don't know. I'll figure that out. That's a later problem. That's not a structural problem. That's not welding or anything. It's a later problem. The welding is realistically, I think, only going to be that bottom corner. So we'll do this bottom corner, we'll get it done, and then we'll move on to the braking system, which we'll talk about that a little bit. The brakes seem to be okay up here in this little area right here. Like this master cylinder seems to be okay. I'm gonna re-bleed it and everything and kind of get it right and make sure that's good. That thing's, that's, I don't know where'd that go? I don't know what this is supposed to be attached to. I don't see any sort of attachment for that one. Oh, whatever. We'll figure it. Maybe this is it. Nope, that don't look right. I don't know. We'll start playing with it. We'll figure it out, and hopefully this thing will stay together and not fall apart on me. I'm gonna fix the. Does this thing have an emergency brake? I can't tell. Does it have an emergency brake? I think that's an emergency brake. I'm not sure what that is. That looks where the emergency brake's supposed to be. I don't know. That's a little weird. So we might be able to. This looks like the hood. It looks like the hood and all that stuff there. Maybe it's the brake release. I don't know. We're gonna have to play with this for sure. I'm gonna make it so the brakes don't fall apart. That's my goal. So we'll pull everything off, fix up the brakes, make all that work. And eventually, I'd like to pull all this old crap off and put a brand new brake booster setup on there. Well, I actually found some pieces that he was telling me that he already cut out for this spot. And you can kind of tell there's some red there. It's because he cut it out of a stop sign. I'm gonna use it, but I have this 16 gauge sheet steel to kind of cover some stuff. And I actually have this pretty heavy sheet steel to put on that brace side there. And I'm pretty sure you can buy kits for that new brace under there. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of make something up with the spare steel I have laying around. Make sure this thing stays solid and doesn't fall apart on me for now. And later when we go to tear this back down and I can actually do a good solid paint job on the car, I'll take all this stuff off and put an actual rail under there, and I'll put probably all new floors in this thing. And I'll probably go through the car pretty well, but for right now, that's what we're gonna make work. So this is what it looks like beforehand. The panel is completely eaten away. It's pretty bad. There's a big hole in the rail there. It's pretty rough. So I'm gonna cut out what I need to cut out, or I'm going to grind it down first and kind of cut everything out and make it look all pretty. And then I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'll weld it up and show you what it looks like when it's all done. And then I'll paint it up with something I got laying around the shop just to keep it from rusting. But yeah, that's about as bad as you can be. It's pretty bad and could be potentially dangerous if that lets go, but I don't think we're gonna let it get there. I think we're gonna cut out the bad pieces and make this thing look pretty good. All right, well, we removed a lot of rust and dirt and everything. I removed that big panel out of there too. And now, oh, with all the grinding and everything, we have a pretty clean spot to start with. We got all pretty nice cuts out, so we're gonna replate this little crevice here, or I mean crevice, this giant hole. We're gonna throw a new plate in right here just to line up with everything, and then we'll throw another one over top of that to strengthen all of this stuff here and give this a nice strength piece. We are then going to redo this right here. This had some sort of lip on it, and we're just gonna kind of somewhere up in here, weld, clean it up, get it to sit here, and then we'll weld up our piece that goes over top right here. A nice big piece that just clears right here, and then we'll set up our back piece right here that has a hole in it for the fuel line. As you can see, this has a fuel line hole, and I pulled the fuel line out of there. There's some rust right there and everything, but I'm gonna do my best just to clean it up. It just doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to be structurally sound, and if I put a plate back in here and then I double plate it, I feel like it'll be more than sturdy for now. Again, this car probably will be getting torn apart again at some point, but for right now, it is just gonna be a nice sturdy little spot for this, and then a nice cover piece and our back piece. Should be pretty simple. So these are all our pieces that we're gonna have cut out here. This right here, oh goodness, yeah, I'm kind of in a weird spot. This is this one here. We're just gonna put it up in there. It fits way better than it looks it fits. So this one will go there. Kind of just, yeah, that'll go there. And then we'll have another plate over top of this one. Let it, oop. Let her place right there. Kind of strengthen that one up. Cover everything else, you know, that I didn't get the first time. Cover this spot here with this one. You know, clean up all these ones here, bring it in there. That'll stay in there. Yeah, sure, that'll stay there. That'll go there. I'll have my other piece right here. That'll go there. And then of course, hang on, I don't know if I can get this to hang either. Nope. That piece will go there. And then my main piece will go right here. So everything should work out pretty good. It'll be nice and strong. I'm gonna do my best to clean this out and then clean it all up in here and cover it with something so it stops from rusting. But yeah, this should turn out pretty good when I'm done with it. All right, these welds look disgusting, but we have our one plate back here. We got the face plate that we put over top of it. I actually put up the plate right here, and then we welded our other plate that our guy made for us in there, nice and sturdy. We're gonna drill our hole for the fuel line, and then we'll put our cover plate over, and this should be all done. All right, here we go. She's all cleaned up, she's all done. It ain't the prettiest, but super solid. We got the back closed up and everything. That's about as good as you're gonna get for a little flux core MIG welder and zero welding experience other than a truck. But I'm gonna drill a 1/2-inch hole right there for the fuel line, and then I'm gonna clean this up and paint it, and I'll probably do that tomorrow, get it outside and everything. But that'll be probably it for that, and then we're gonna move on to the brakes. All right, so last night we fixed up the entire frame of the car. Everything on here, pretty solid now. I didn't fix any of these little panels over here because you can't see them in the engine bay, and the fender's gonna cover them up, and they're pretty solid. So we'll just leave them. I gotta tear this car down again anyways. I'm probably gonna end up replacing this whole front end if I ever do rebuild the car the way I want to. And it's probably gonna get a different sort of drivetrain. But for now, we're gonna work on the brakes. And I actually was looking at them, they don't look as bad as I initially thought. A lot of those lines are still good, they're just missing some stuff. So I should be able to just use the old brake lines, just make sure I redo the master cylinder, and then I should be able to hook up all the pieces and parts I got and put the new brakes on, and I should be able to have working brakes. We'll kind of see. I gotta flush all the lines out, make sure there's no rust in them or anything like that, but it looks like this thing's okay. Like I said, it sat for a very long time, but it sat in conditions in Alaska where there's not a ton of humidity up here. So, I mean, down in Wasilla there is, so I don't know. We're gonna go through it, we're gonna make sure it's okay, but we're gonna go through and hopefully have this car safe today. That way, either later today or tomorrow, I can start working on engine stuff and I can get this thing running and driving by the end of the week. So I can drive it on and in and out of the shop, and I can hopefully do some cool videos with it before I put all the panels on and paint it. All right, so I got all the brake parts now. I actually found these ones just in the kit and they look fine, so I can use those. So, it looks like I am missing some of these. I've only got 3 of these. So we're gonna see if any of these are good. I don't think they are. That one on the other side looked okay. So we'll see if that's good, but I only got 3 of these and I've got 4. Nope, not entirely true. I only got 3 of those, I guess. I can replace all of them. Those back lines, though, are concerning. So we'll start in the front, work our way back. Since it's like this, it should be pretty easy. I am very worried about the back end and those brakes back there, but for right now, the front should be pretty easy. Looks like everything's already been off. I think the dude had this thing, like had the brake already off when I looked at it. It is missing all of the components on one side, I know that much. So let's dive into this, get the brakes working, and hopefully get this thing bled and stopping today. So we got it down to the base shaft and the backing plate. We have 2 new bearings that I've got to grease up and put in our hub here, and then I got to get the shoes onto the backing plate with all of our springs and other things. I'm gonna have to watch a video how to figure that one out just to make sure I'm doing it right. I kind of get the idea. You know, you'll put your base and your spring on these 2, so your shoe will attach there and there. There'll be some springs up here to hold everything kind of tight up here along with your actuator, and then there'll be some springs down here. But I want to watch a video, make sure I'm doing this right, and make sure I don't hurt myself. So after watching a couple videos and looking at a couple pictures of all the parts and everything I need, I'm missing all the original like lever pieces and other hardware pieces to finish these front drum brakes. I'm not gonna ask the guy, hey, where are these pieces? You know, you didn't give me all the pieces of the car. I knew this stuff would happen. I was really just hopeful I could slap these new ones on and go. That's not gonna happen. So I think we're just gonna bite the bullet and do drum brakes, or sorry, we're gonna get rid of the drum brakes and buy disc brakes and buy a whole new kit and set it up the way I need to. That way, hopefully, I won't have any missing hardware because I'll have a new kit, hopefully, and I want to do power brakes. That is like the one thing that I know I definitely wanted to do, but I didn't have the money for it, and now I still really don't have the money for this. But with all the missing hardware, I'll try and sell off these brake pads and everything, and all the brake parts and everything. I'll try and sell them, or I'll trade them or bargain for something else that I need, and hopefully I'll get rid of those things. If not, then I'll just give them to somebody else that can use them, because I can't. I don't have the pieces for them. I could use them, but I'd have to go and strip parts, and it's just a waste of my time. I got so much to do in this car. All I'm gonna do is just order a brand new brake setup. It's gonna cost me like $1,000. It's gonna suck, but actually it's gonna cost me more than that, because I need to get power brakes in the car to be able to use the disc brakes. I mean, not really, but why have disc brakes if you're not gonna have power brakes? So now we're stepping back, readjusting, and now we're gonna work on something else because the brakes are shot. Well, the back brakes came apart pretty easy. They have all their parts, so that is a plus. We got the back brakes faces off. They look pretty rough, but they should work. They ain't great. They're not perfect by any means. There are going to be problems with them, just getting them adjusted and everything. But I'm going to leave them. I'm going to replace the actuator. I have the actuators over there. I'm going to replace the actuators back here and maybe the lines and stuff since it's pretty open back there. And then we're going to do disc brakes up front. I feel like this is unnecessary. I probably could spend like $200 and get those drum brakes to work, but I don't want to spend any money on something I didn't want in the first place. I don't want drum brakes. I'm not going to spend money on it. I was just only doing that because they were there and I thought I had all the pieces. I don't have all the pieces, so now we're going to go to disc brakes. And the thing is I wanted to have this car done in 3 weeks. I don't think this is going to happen now. We'll see. The trans might not even work. The engine might not even work. We don't know if any of this stuff works. So we're going to start pulling this stuff apart, getting everything working. Next video, we're going to pull the fuel tank out and we're going to get the fuel system set up. And then we're hopefully going to run the engine. I'm going to borescope it, change the oil pan, go through and change some stuff. And yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. I always appreciate it. And next video, this thing should be running, maybe possibly driving if the transmission is good.